You snoozed twice this morning, spilled your coffee once, and you've already blamed last night's referee for your morning mood.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's time to embrace the chaos and step into the madness.
Bro, you about to see a side of me you didn't even know existed.
Featuring guests who are over-caffeinated and less reasonable than the average person.
Man, I think it's just ridiculous.
Come on, man. Are you serious? Ugh.
Fans, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Welcome to the show.
So buckle up. It's time for hot takes and hot mics. This is the Morning Rant, where the only thing more unpredictable is Dave before his third cup of coffee.
I just felt like running.
On WPGY, the Sports Pig.
And a good morning, everyone, and welcome into this Rally Towel Tuesday edition of the Morning Rant. Dave Garner with you till 11 o'clock this morning right here on WPGY, the Sports Pig. Hey, it's all brought to you by our friends at Geiger Legal Group. Once again, the Geiger Legal Group Bracket Challenge coming to an end. Last night as the national championship game played out before our very eyes. I'm in here with Billy Dowd this morning. Billy D.
Hey.
Speaking of, man, he is rocking the Morning Rant cap, the custom-made ball cap right here today. And I love the colors, man. It's your Georgia colors. So, you know, I'm always kind of caught in the crosshairs because, you know, I've got, you know, Big John Davis in here a couple days a week. You know, of course, he's a big Tech guy. You're a big Georgia guy. Then I got, you know, Will Cooper later in the week, who's a big Alabama guy. Don't know what he's thinking. But anyway, we got a lot of teams and a lot of fandoms represented right here on the program. But we thank you guys for being with us. Hey, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff here over this next hour. And the biggest thing that we're going to talk about is the Masters, a tradition unlike any other. It's the Masters, and it basically kicks off, well, really tomorrow with the par 3. Of course, practice mode this week. Obviously, the first round on Thursday. We're going to jump into that here in a little bit. But want to talk about the national championship last night. Billy D and I, we've been breaking down a lot of what we've seen, you know, our prognostications that went wrong, some of the things that went right over the last couple of weeks. But last night it all played out, and the Michigan Wolverines winning their first championship since 1989.
Yeah, I mean, they they had a lot of transfer ins that they had on that team. One of the few to have, like, I think all their starters transfers in, but they were just too much, just too big, too much. UConn made some incredible plays to even get there.
Right.
And shoot, they hung with them. They hung with them the whole game, too.
Well, they really did.
Too, and almost made something out of it. I told you at the very beginning, before the start, I said, watch out for UConn. They're feisty.
Yeah, you did.
They're feisty.
Yeah.
And,
feisty team,
all the way there. Yeah.
It looked like they were going to possibly win 3 out of the last 4, I mean, going in. But Michigan, I think, was, you know, that team you could tell from early in the tournament. I mean, they really didn't have a test until last night. And, you know, UConn, I think the thing that impressed me about the game last night more than anything was just the effort, you know, the hustle. I mean, you saw 2 teams playing defense, which was refreshing. I mean, there were so many sequences in that game last night. And to your point, Michigan, the first team in history to have all 5 starters were transfers. It was an all-transfer team, basically, that won the national championship. And that's just the environment they were in right now, going back to a conversation that I had yesterday with John about, you know, of course, NIL, transfer portal, all that stuff, some of the stuff that's been handed down, Trump getting involved, you know, with some of the transfers and things like that. But back to the game, I mean, it was one of those things where very much you saw so many sequences last night where, you know, a team would go down, get a layup blocked. Long outlet pass down on the other end, that gets blocked. You know, I mean, there were several times. Yeah, just a lot of effort plays. So to me, it was a very refreshing brand of basketball. I know a lot of people are saying, where was the, you know, officiate, man? They were letting them get away with everything. But even Danny Hurley was complimentary of the officials after the loss last night, saying, you know, if these guys officiated every game, I'd sleep a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a great way to watch basketball. You want to see them play. You want to do those things. I don't like the ridiculous amount of fouls that are typically called. that was a nice brand of basketball last night.
Yeah,
enjoyed it. Yeah,
it was. And of course, Michigan getting the dub there again. UConn led in the first half, in moments of that game, but in the second half, Michigan kind of, put a little distance between themselves. It was kind of a 7-point, 9-point game for a lot of it. UConn had their moments where they got back, within a few points here and there. I know inside a minute they got it down, I think, to 4 at one point. They get the turnover, but they miss the layup. Too strong off the glass. Michigan throws it down the court and they shoot a 3, and it's like a 5-point swing.
That was the moment,
and
right
that was
there.
the dagger.
That was it. Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. So again, kudos to Michigan again coming out of the bracket unscathed. My initial thought, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh yeah, right," but I did have Michigan. I had Michigan in the national championship game in my bracket. I had them winning originally, but then I changed that pick, which wouldn't have mattered. I still would have lost our Finn bracket. And by the way, for all the crap that we've given our buddy Art Mosley over the last couple of years for not winning the bracket, indeed, Mr. Mosley did pick it right. He picked Michigan to win it. He defeated our Thursday and Friday co-host, Will Cooper, who we'll hear from later in the week. So, again, Art Mosley, doubling up on the Travis Scott McDonald's meals here. A little bit of an inside joke there. But, again, congratulations to our buddy Art Mosley. On the Geiger Legal Group Challenge, by the way, Will was sitting pretty, man. After going into the Final Four, he was number 1 in the Geiger Legal Group bracket challenge, again presented by our friends at Geiger Legal Group in Canton and Dalton. Again, 833 HELP GLG is their phone number. And but it ended up being because when Illinois got beat, that kind of took Coop out of it. And so anyway, the guy that ended up winning, now I don't know what his real name is. I don't know if it's probably not the actual Jake Paul, but his online handle is Jake Paul 555. I think is what he was on the ESPN Fantasy bracket challenge. So whoever you are, Jake Paul 555, congratulations, because you are the winner of the $1,000 cash prize from Geiger Legal, and you also get the $10,000 charity giveaway in your name as well. All presented by our friends at Geiger Legal Group. Hey, I think I finished 60th out of 450 or so. So not bad. I mean, hey, I was in the top 100. I'll take it. But again, you and I, man, Houston, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, well,
I'll never forgive Kelvin Sampson at this point.
It's a bad night. Bad night.
But anyway, so March Madness officially over. Hey, what did you think, by the way? And I wanted to get your thought because I got John's yesterday, but this is the first time I've talked to you this week. Of course, you're on a Rally Towel Tuesday right here on the home of ESPN Radio. But the women's championship, but back to the Final Four. Gino Auriemma, Dawn Staley from South Carolina having some words after the game there. A little bit of stuff going on there, and then of course the championship. UCLA running, basically South Carolina out of the building in that game. Staley, of course, very complimentary of UCLA, but a little bit of drama playing out there in that women's bracket as well.
So what are my thoughts on how it all went down?
Well, as far as the coaching thing there, did you see the little little tiff there?
I like a little tiff here and there or whatever. But look, he's a sore loser. I mean, that's what it is. He's a sore loser. He didn't know how to handle it, and he handled it very poorly. And look, she's not a saint either.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's giving it back to him too. But I like it in sports because it gives you that rough, raw edge.
Yeah.
And so next season when they're together, it's all that more interesting to me.
Exactly.
Like
all that more interesting right there. I think between Dawn Staley, Gino Auriemma, and of course Kim Mulkey, at LSU, like those three. I mean, there's some personality there, in that women's basketball group. Hey, speaking of women's basketball, Angel Reese was traded to the Atlanta Dream. So now we've got you're rolling your eyes. We've got Angel Reese now in Atlanta. But I found it interesting. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it, of course, but I did find it interesting that the day that they announced it yesterday that she was being traded, the jerseys apparently sold out for Angel Reese, the Atlanta Dream. Now, I'm wondering how many they actually made. I mean, for them to say they got sold out. But I saw that report last night that all the Angel Reese jerseys that were put out there have already been sold out with the announcement that she's going to be joining the Atlanta Dream, giving up a couple of first-round draft picks over the next couple seasons. So I can tell by your reaction you don't have much to say about that.
No, I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
There you go.
I'd rather be on our team than another team, but as far as just her in general, I'm not a fan.
So that's what I was going to ask. Are you not a fan of her or the WNBA?
No, she's a great player.
Yeah,
I think she's awesome. She's going to be great for our team. I'm just not a fan of the individual.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, and I think people sometimes they share that sentiment as well. They're especially as outspoken as she's been about different things. Caitlin Clark, different folks coming into the league right there. Hey, a lot of things to talk about, and we're going to get into Masters here in our next segment and talk a little bit about that. Really dive into it today because Billy D is kind of our golf expert. You can tell by looking at him, man. He won a golf tournament already this year. He's already donned his green jacket. His front yard looks like a golf course. I mean, so I'm sure it's probably just as nice as what you would see out at Augusta this week at this point.
It's shaping up really nice. It's coming into form.
Man, the weather this morning, I mean, just phenomenal. I actually cut my grass yesterday because I had to. I mean, out of necessity, it was getting high, so I shaved it back. I'm trying to keep it chopped down. Not near as nice as yours, but I'm trying to get it there. But a lot of things to talk about. Braves, losers of 3 in a row. We'll talk about that later in the show as well. What do they got to do? What's going on there to turn it around? And also some different notes. We got some high school notes as well. We'll talk about the Atlanta Hawks. They fell last night.
Hey,
they did fall. They did fall.
Now.
Yeah, you're not going to win them all. I mean, a great game last night over the New York Knicks. They lost 108-105 at home. C.J. McCollum hits a half-court shot at the end of regulation that would have put the game into overtime, but they waved it off, and he didn't quite get the ball out of his fingertips in time, so the shot was waved off. The Hawks lose there.
An awesome game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everybody was talking about it. I did not get a chance to see that one last night, but everybody was talking about how awesome of a game that was, and potentially a playoff preview at some point, depending on how things play out. Again, the Hawks with just a few games left in the season as they try to hang on to that 5th spot there in the NBA playoffs. And so, again, a lot of things going on in the world of sports. We've also got some spring practice news as well. And like I talked about, I mean, a lot of Masters talk this morning. I'm wearing my one of my Masters polos. I've just got a couple. You've been wearing them all week, so you actually didn't wear one today.
No, I've worn, I think, a Masters shirt every day the last 5 or 6 days, and I just did not have one for today. They're all being washed, cleaned, whatever the case may be. But man, I'm so excited about the Masters, so excited about the Hawks. I watched the entire game. It was a playoff atmosphere. The crowd was into it.
Right.
It was hype, and man, I'm excited for what we're bringing.
Yeah,
I am.
Yeah. I and obviously all of this on the heels of the Trae Young trade, as we know, changing the dynamic of the team, but certainly for the good. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens and what plays out, over these last few ball games and how this team looks going into the postseason. But definitely a kind of a playoff feel last night. You're right.
Yeah, it's very apparent that we're not big enough inside.
Right.
But listen, we are a scrappy team. We like to get out and run.
Yeah.
Alexander was unconscious last night, the way he was shooting. I mean, he just get the ball and he's just throwing it up and it's going in. The basket was an ocean last night for this Joker. And
I love it.
And they run their faster. Have you ever been south of Macon? In the gnats everywhere.
Oh yeah.
The Hawks play like a bunch of gnats on defense, and they're just bugging you. They're in your face.
Right.
They're all around you the entire time. You're swatting them away, and they just keep on showing up. They never go away. They're not fazed by runs of the other team.
Right.
You think, man, they must be getting killed the way it looks right now, but you turn around and here they are. They're right back in it, and they're up 2 points or they're even, and they don't crack.
Yeah,
they don't crack. It's a great team. They may not have enough bigs to really go where it needs to go at this point, but they are a fun team to watch. They're going to give us some excitement, and I love where we're going. And if we get a first round playoff win, I think we have exceeded anything that we would have thought.
Absolutely, especially when you look 2 months ago at this team and where they were at to where they're at now. Certainly a playoff series win, even just one win, puts you kind of feeling pretty good about the direction of this Hawks team. Last night they had some pretty good looked like they had some good halftime entertainment too. They had like a guy holding a big pole, and the girl was like spinning. I got to be careful how I describe this on the air because I don't want it to come off
Magic
wrong.
City
It
night?
wasn't anything inappropriate, and there were some jokes being made like, imagine if the Magic City night had happened. But anyway, but no, she was like grabbing onto the thing like with her teeth and like spinning around. It was very, very much like a circus type, Cirque du Soleil type of thing there. You'll have to look the video up online. Sorry, my description's so poor. I don't want to give anyone the wrong idea right here on the morning rant. But hey, just take a look at it. We'll continue that conversation about hoops. We've got some more hoops news for you on the other side of the break as we hit our first break right here on this Rally Towel Tuesday edition of the program, brought to you by your friends at Geiger Legal. Hey, we're the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, the official home for the Atlanta Braves baseball.
Tired of shouting your business's name into the void and getting nothing but crickets? Your brand deserves more than awkward billboard glances and flyers lining bird cages. Right now, listeners are hearing me ramble on instead of your ad. That's a touchdown for missed opportunities and a fumble for your wallet. Your ad could be here, making fans laugh, cheer, and most importantly, call you. Go to sportspigradio.com or call 678-454-9552 and get your business off the bench and into the game.
Big opinions of the big games from the big mouths.
Man, I think it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the Morning Rant on WPGY, the Sports Pig, North Georgia's home for ESPN Radio.
Sit down.
And back here on a Rally Towel Tuesday, Billy D rocking it out right here today, man. I'm loving the energy, waving the Rally Towel. We appreciate you guys listening in. Once again, visit us on social media. The Sports Pig is on Facebook. Our show, The Morning Rant, is on Instagram. You can also watch full video episodes of the show daily on YouTube. The podcast version of The Morning Rant's also available on sportspigradio.com and wherever you listen to your favorite daily podcast on both Apple and Android platforms, including Spotify, Podbean, you name it. You can catch me on Twitter as well at DaveGarner777. And we want to hear from you guys, man. Let us know. Interact with us on our social media. Let us know what you think about any things that we're talking about right here on the program. I did want to kind of mention, obviously, we're talking about the Atlanta Hawks there in the first segment. There's going to be a big parade next Friday, by the way. We were talking about high school sports. A parade of champions in Maury County celebrating this year's Maury County Lady Indian State Championship team, as well as some of the other basketball teams in Maury County at the rec level that won some state championships. So there's going to be about 3 or 4 teams honored and recognized next Friday. Not this Friday, but next Friday beginning at 4 p.m. They're going to do a parade leaving from Maury County High School. It's going to go kind of around Gladden Middle and kind of snake its way back to the high school, honoring, again, all of the state championship teams from Maury County this year. And we'll be there. And so looking forward to that. We hope to see you there as well. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on. But this week is spring break for a lot of our area schools. Billy D in spring break mode this week himself. And I know my wife's a teacher. She's off this week enjoying some well-needed and deserved rest there. So, yeah, a lot of folks traveling right now. Hopefully they're listening to us on the app.
Yeah, a lot of folks traveling. This is traditionally for us yard work week.
Yeah.
So that's what we
a tradition
do.
Unlike any other.
Yeah,
yes.
tradition like any other. And yeah, that's generally our time to get everything back in line. We typically do most of our vacations in the fall time or late summer. That's
how we are.
It's hot.
Oh, yeah. It gets hot in summer. We tend to do kind of a fall, week there as well. We were talking about, this show is, as we always say, is 80% sports, 10% food and everything else. And we are going to talk a little bit about our restaurant inspections later in the show as well, because that's a new segment that we launched last week. So we'll kind of run through a couple scores and talk about it because we got Billy D here who spent a lot of time in the restaurant industry. But you spend a lot of time now on that yard. And, I think it's only appropriate as we transition into our Masters talk that we talk a little bit about, what goes into keeping a good yard. Because, man, if you guys haven't seen it, man, Billy D's front yard looks like it looks like the 10th, tee at Augusta National. I mean, it's just very immaculate. But, man, I want you to bring, because I know we got one of our listeners, Mark Johnson, who's, he goes by Socrates Johnson online. There his handle. And he's very much the same way. You guys are both real mower guys, the REEL, that brand of mower.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, how much time would you say a week you spend on that yard of yours, man?
Not as much as you would think. I probably spend more time looking at it and admiring it than I do actually working on
Taking selfies with it.
But
you put a lot of work into it to get it to where it's at.
The deal is whenever you're using a reel mower, the type of mower that I use, you're cutting off such a small amount of grass.
Yeah.
It's not creating any kind of a mess.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So you're just running over it.
Yeah.
So as long as it takes you to run over it, that's as long as it's taken, and you blow it off. But so I'd say I mow it probably 3 times a week.
Okay.
That takes me about maybe 30 minutes start to finish.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad.
Right.
But a lot of people have to bag, they clip, and they haul it off, and they're doing all these things. I don't have to do all that.
Right. That makes sense. But I mean, you had to put a lot of work in the front end to get it to that point.
Now listen, now we have we do the aeration.
Yeah.
I have them drop off a yard of sand every year.
Yeah.
A big cube sits in my driveway.
Right.
We sand and we level and we do all that stuff. We got to get up all the plugs and all that. But after the initial work is done, it's 3 mows a week, about 30 minutes.
Cumulatively, though, there's a lot of time put into that, and you've got a little kind of like a little putting, pitching area as well in addition to that. And it's so again, a lot of people, and I'm kind of getting there as well. I finally got someone treat my yard. I'm trying to make it look nice. It looked good yesterday. I finally got out and kind of did my first real edging, if you will, and kind of trim of the season there. I've already cut. I'm like you. I haven't cut it near as much as you have, of course, yours, but I've cut it a couple times. Maybe this might be my 3rd time total, maybe, I think, running it over it. So trying to keep it low, man. You got to cut it low to keep that Bermuda going.
You just got to look, if you're just a regular person out there and you want your yard to look great and you got Bermuda grass, all you have to do is mow it at 1 inch, which every mower will go to 1 inch.
Right.
And just do it twice a week. That's all you got to do.
There you go. I like it, man. Hey, good tips right there. Restaurant inspections, yard, you name it. And, of course, plenty of sports talk right here on the Morning Rant. Again, this Rally Towel Tuesday edition brought to you by our friends at Geiger Legal Group. Again, we are the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the SportsPig app and online at sportspigradio.com. Hey, let's dive into the Masters. We told you for the last 2 weeks that this week was going to be Masters Week right here on the Morning Rant, and we have a guy that I would consider a golf authority, a guy that wins tournaments, a guy that plays a lot. He knows the game, and so while we got you here, man, I want to get the best out of you, and so I do want to dive in and spend some time this morning talking a little bit about the Masters, and we're actually going to do my man Big John texted last night and said, hey, why don't let's put a friendly wager between all the hosts on this show, and I haven't even told Will Cooper yet, so hope maybe you're listening, buddy. But anyway, we're going to do a little, I guess not really a bracket challenge, but do a little Masters challenge. We're going to pick 8 golfers who we think have a shot, and after Sunday, we're going to tally it up, the combined lowest finish between all 8 of those. Within that 8, we'll pick a winner as well. We'll win a milkshake or a handshake bet or whatever. We'll figure that out later. Maybe a Travis Scott meal or whatever if they still make those now. I don't think McDonald's makes those anymore. But nonetheless, a friendly wager. But before we even get to that point, I'm not saying, hey, let's pick our 8 right now or whatever on the air. But Billy D, let's just jump into it, man. Let's talk about the course. We were just talking about your yard. Things have been dry here, for the most part in North Georgia. Yeah. A lot of people feel like that's gonna make things a little bit faster, out in Augusta. We're gonna have some fast greens. Augusta can pretty much manicure and do whatever they want to do because the course is always in great condition no matter what. But let's talk about the course first, because that's really the biggest opponent and biggest X factor always with the Masters.
Well, the course is going to be awesome shape, of course, is the Masters. But I had to make a trip down to actually Augusta yesterday. Okay. Not to the actual Masters, but that area.
Yeah.
And, man, all the azaleas down there are in full bloom. You see some of it up here, but down there, everything's in full bloom. Everything's right. It is looking absolutely gorgeous. So I'm sure the course is looking absolutely amazing as well.
Right.
Look, it's going to run fast. I mean, here's what you don't understand. If I don't, if you've never been to the Masters, any of you listeners, if you haven't been there, your TV does not show you how undulated the greens are.
Right.
You can't really get a feel for that until you actually go and see it in person.
Right. Everything looks flat on TV.
It doesn't do it any justice whatsoever. Some of these greens, y'all, it's like putting over a hill. And then up to another one, to a valley. You just don't understand what it's like until you're there.
Yeah.
And that's you just can't, and you can't really describe it. It's just there's no way to see it.
I always say that like TV never does any sport justice. You know, it's like even going to a Braves game. I mean, when you're out there and you're watching those guys warm up, the uniforms are just so much whiter. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's just the colors and everything. And so I can only imagine with the scenery of Augusta National, with the azaleas, like you mentioned, and the greenery, that you can't even appreciate the backdrop of it. But to your point, from a topography standpoint or what have you, you know, you can't understand that either, because everything does kind of, from overhead, from all the angles, it looks very flat.
Because you're watching these guys, you're like, how could he miss such it's like a little 4-foot putt? Like, how could he miss that? Well, you know what? When you go and you're there and you see it, you're like, okay, I get it.
Now I understand it.
Yeah.
Now I understand it. What about pin placement? I mean, that obviously is a big factor when you kind of look at Augusta. They always tend to, you know, they move them around like a lot of courses do and everything. But I think for me, not knowing exactly what it's going to look like just yet, but I think for me that's going to be a big factor as far as whose game that's going to, you know, suit the best. And we're not going to, if we got to pick ahead of time, which we have to, we'll have to kind of pick it before tomorrow's, you know, par 3 and kind of set a little bit of a deadline here before we get going. But at the same time, it'll be interesting to see what the pin placements look like this weekend. Yeah, well, and you know what's cool about it is, so I've the times that I've been on during the practice rounds and some of the actual event rounds. Right. And like today on Tuesday, what you can see when you're out there and you're watching the players go around and practice, they know where those pin positions are. Yeah. And when they come through to their approach shots, you know, 150 out, whatever they typically are, they are dropping 2 and 3 balls. Yeah. Okay? Wow. And they're playing all different shots into that hole, into that green, so they'll know which shot they need to play where, depending on where they're at. And that is what is amazing to me, is whenever you go around in a practice round and you see them dropping these different balls and watching how great they are, because they all get it to the hole, and they play it 3 different and 4 different ways. Right. And so that really shows you the type of skill and talent that these guys have, and they know where all those are, so they're practicing those during their practice rounds, where those different pin placements are. And that is one of the most amazing things to me whenever I was there watching, because I'm a geek about it, right? Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff that really gets me going. I'm watching, oh my gosh, look at it, he's playing 3 of them this week. Right. Wow. And that's and you were saying too, because we were talking about it. We're up against our second break, so we'll talk more about this on the other side of the break. But I've never had the opportunity to go. I mean, of all the things that I've gotten to do, and you know, different things with press passes, and you know, over the years, I've never had the. I know, shame on me. I've never. And I told myself last year, I think I told this story earlier in the week as well, or last week. I told myself last year, after last year's Masters, I'm like, by gosh, man, 2026, I'm going. And here I am sitting here hosting the show, you know, with you today, and the rest of the week, and that's okay. And I want this is where I want to be. I want to be right here. But yeah, I'm going to make it happen one of these years. You and I talked about it. We're going to have to figure out a way. Maybe next year. There's always next year. But I'm definitely looking forward to going to the Masters, because I've never been. But you've had the opportunity to go. Yeah, it's the most gorgeous place, I think, in Georgia from a golf perspective. For sure. Yeah. We're going to talk about your experience on the other side of a break here in a moment, talking about the Masters with my man Billy D right here on a Rally Towel Tuesday edition of the Morning Rant. We'll take a time out and be right back. Again, we're the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the SportsPig app and online at sportspigradio.com. It's the Morning Rant right here on WPGY, the SportsPig.
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, where hot takes meet hot mics.
Tired of shouting your business's name into the void and getting nothing but crickets? Your brand deserves more than awkward billboard glances and flyers lining bird cages. Right now, listeners are hearing me ramble on instead of your ad. That's a touchdown for missed opportunities and a fumble for your wallet. Your ad could be here, making fans laugh, cheer, and most importantly, call you. Go to sportspigradio.com or call 678-454-9552 and get your business off the bench and into the game.
We bring the heat. You bring the trash talk.
Come on, man. Are you serious?
It's the Morning Rant, live on the Sports Pig app and sportspigradio.com.
Back here on a Rally Towel Tuesday. Dave Garner with you till 11 o'clock. The king of college football, Chuck Oliver, with Southern Sports Today coming up at 11 right here on the Sports Pig, the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com. Billy D in with me here today, as always, on a Tuesday. And we were talking about your experience having been to the Masters. I know it's been a few years since you've been there, but you've still been there, which is more than I can say. But, you know, what is that experience like? I mean, kind of walk us through a little bit of that before we jump back into the actual tournament this week.
Well, look, I mean, I had won some contests with a previous employer, and I got treated like absolute royalty.
Yeah.
So my experience was, first of all, I was just geeked up, crazy excited because I'm a golf guy going to like one of the biggest golf events there is.
Oh yeah.
And so I was jacked about it.
Right.
Now, the only thing that sucked about my experience is that I had to do it all by myself. I wasn't able to bring anybody or anything like that. So it was all me. All these memories are locked in with Billy. I can't share them. Like, there's nobody to share it with. But anyway, I will never forget it. I'll go down there. And I was put up in this particular place that I won it with is one of the big beer companies. Okay. And they had this house that they had rented out, which these people rent their houses out and pay their mortgages for the whole year.
Wow.
But this house was rented out. So I had a room there. And then we had this separate outdoor area behind the house where it's kind of like there was like a bar set up with a pavilion out in the back. And they had a little putting green area with little holes. They'd have like 6 holes mapped out in the backyard, a little like an artificial putting green.
Yeah.
And they had a putter. Everybody who was staying in that house had a golden putter with your name engraved in the putter.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
Wow.
I had a spread laid out every morning for breakfast.
Yeah.
You could come back and forth as much as you wanted. They had a spread for lunch. They had a spread for dinner, and I'm not talking like small little finger food type things. I'm talking a spread.
Right.
I'm not talking. I'm talking 16, 18 count shrimp. I'm not talking about the small. I'm talking the big shrimp, the big everything, right?
Yeah.
And so I had a personal waitress lady, or I don't know what they called them. Probably wasn't called a waitress.
Yeah.
But she was assigned to me.
Right.
Literally assigned to me. Anything I wanted, I just told her I needed it, and she would go and get it and take care of me. If I needed to be taken to the course, she got it all set up. If I needed to come back, bring me back. If I needed anything, food.
I mean, you had like
it was
VIP.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
You're not making me feel any better about not having been. Let's put it that way.
Man.
So, I mean, you had me at shrimp. Okay,
then,
so.
Yeah, I know, right? You love that shrimp. But then, you go to the course. You go to the course, and what I really like to do, and I've heard a lot of other people like this as well. I like to walk the whole course when I first get there.
Yeah,
I just go from hole 1, walk the whole thing all the way around, and then I pick the spots where I want to go and actually set up a little bit and watch some players practice or play. I'm not really a big fan of being there on the weekend.
Right,
it's just too crowded. It's hard to. Yeah. You got to pick a spot. You're just going to be there all day.
Right. Yeah.
You can't really move with them. It gets tough. So I love the early rounds. I love the practice rounds. Going to the driving range. Let me tell you this. So you've been to a driving range.
Oh yeah.
And you see the balls all over the place. Right. The driving range was a crazy experience because I'm sitting there, I'm watching these guys warm up or practice.
Yeah.
And you have the pins set up in the driving range out there. There's not a ball out of place. All the balls are around flags, around pins.
Yeah,
it's like you don't see that on a driving range.
No,
you see them all scattered everywhere.
Oh
man, it was. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a totally different level.
Yeah, this is it's a totally different level. You have such an appreciation, once you see something like that, and it's like that, in a lot of sports. Obviously, if you're a pro, you kind of see that pinpoint accuracy, no matter what sport it is, whether it's football or what have you. But I have to imagine imagine that was quite an experience. Sounded like you had the VIP treatment when you went.
When I first stepped on that grass, I laid down on it. I was like,
I bet I would have too, and done some grass angels or whatever, you know, in that right there. You've been to a Super Bowl as well, so you've had the opportunity to be some pretty marquee sporting events over the years.
I got treated like a king there too.
Man, I don't even want to hear it, man. I don't even want to hear it. Oh man, talking about the Masters, chopping it up right here with Billy D. Hey, let's talk about the tournament here as we kind of go, you know, in the back half of this third segment right here before our final break. Who do you like, man? I mean, who are some of the guys? I mean, obviously Scotty Scheffler's a guy that, you know, is still considered a favorite, even though he hadn't played in almost a month, the birth of his son. So he's spent some time off there. You know, John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, of course, from the Live tournament have played well overseas of late. Those guys are also amongst the favorites. But for someone that watches golf the way you do, man, what does your gut tell you here?
Well, you know, so there's some guys who played, and you know, Scheffler's talking about him. So I did watch the last time he played, and he got off to a rough start, but he's sort of picked it up the last couple rounds.
Yeah.
I actually don't know if he's played recently at all.
Yeah, I don't think he has. Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to pan out coming into a Masters, but he has an ability to really kick things back into gear when he needs to.
Right.
I'd also say that you know, Fitzpatrick's been playing well. I'm not a big fan of Fitzpatrick, but he's been playing well. He's probably going to be up there in the mix somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, Rahm's going to be there. DeChambeau, I really like DeChambeau. I think he's going to have a good week. But
especially with the course being a little bit harder and faster and firmer, potentially.
Now, the guy that I like that nobody is really talking about a whole lot is just because the last couple of times I've watched him, he seems to be getting it back in gear, is Koepka.
Yeah, Brooks,
I think Koepka could have a really nice week this week. I don't know if he's going to be able to put it together or not, but just something in me tells me that he's getting close.
Right.
That he's getting close. He's starting to put some things together. I really like his game. You know, you got some outliers out there. You know, Schauffele has not been playing well, but he's always been in the mix.
Yeah. I like Xander. I call him Xander killing me Schauffele. But anyway, no, but I do like him. I guess, and the other thing too, I mean, when you look at the rankings or you look at the kind of the betting odds, if you will, and you talk about those. I mean, I like Cameron Young. You know, he's a guy that's kind of a top 10, 15 guy as far as the odds going into the weekend. Obviously, you know, we know that doesn't always play out. What about somebody maybe that's not being talked about? Maybe somebody like a former champ like a Dustin Johnson, you know, who won it in 2020, who's not really even showing up on the radar. Is there a chance that someone like that could come out of nowhere and possibly win it?
Well, there's always a chance, and with the Masters, what you will see sometimes is there'll be a nobody out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Lead the first couple of days.
Yeah.
Then they may fade away.
Right.
But there's always somebody just out of nowhere that shows up. You know, my buddy up at the office, Ben. Shout out to Ben. I think he's looking at Henley. Henley's one of those kind of outliers out there.
Russell Henley,
that could potentially make a run.
Yep.
So we'll see, but there's always somebody.
Yeah.
You can just take that list and just take a dart and throw it and be about just as accurate.
See where it sticks. Yeah, Gary Woodland, our guy, coming back from the brain surgery there, winning the Texas Open. He's amongst the top maybe 20 or 30 or so, perhaps, as far as the odds go going in to the week there. But, I mean, it's hard when you see a guy like Scheffler. A lot of people, of course, like Scotty, John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Rory, could potentially try to be a repeat champ, which is definitely hard to do. I mean, when you look back over the recent history of the Masters, I mean, there haven't really been any of them. This will be the first Masters since 1994 to not feature Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, or Phil Mickelson.
How about that?
Yeah. So, again, Tiger out of it, obviously, with everything he's dealing with. Phil Mickelson, though, also a scratch, deciding not to play as well. So this will be the first Tiger and Phil-less Masters since 1994. So it's been a long time.
Well, we've been blessed to have some pretty good stars pick up that mantle.
Yeah.
So I think we got some pretty nice athletes to watch play golf this week without those two guys.
Yeah, I think that, when you talk about Scheffler, obviously he's 1-2. A lot of people feel like even though he hadn't played much in the last month, to your point, he kind of has a way of turning it on when he needs to and kind of finding his rhythm. And, as the weekend wears on, it'll be interesting to see what happens there if he's able to pick up his third Masters, his third green jacket, so we'll see how it goes. I guess if you're a repeat champion, do they just put the same jacket on you, or do they give you a whole new jacket?
You better give me a new jacket.
Oh, it's the same size. You think they would just take your jacket?
Maybe you had a few more barbecues. You got to expand it out a little bit.
They got to give you a new size there. Oh man, because I can totally relate to that. So anyway, over the years there, but no, I think it'll be interesting. Certainly, I'm looking forward to seeing how the course plays. I think we'll learn a lot tomorrow after the par 3, which is kind of a ceremonial.
No storms this week.
No storms. No, knock on wood. No rain in the forecast this week. I think that's one of the reasons this course will play even firmer to a certain extent, because it has been kind of bone dry in North Georgia, and there's not any rain expected, which is nice because, I think even last year, first couple rounds, cold, windy, rainy, and then it got warm and nice over the weekend. And with the tournament always being played this time of year, you just never know. Looking forward to a great tournament.
It's going to be awesome. This is one of the tournaments I watch front to back.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Matsuyama, 2021 champ in the tournament there as well. Patrick Reed, 2018 champ. John Rahm, the 2023 champ in there as well.
Rahm can make some moves,
Yeah, Rahm is, right now, ESPN odds have him at like 19-1. Like, he's definitely one of the favorites.
He's playing well.
Yeah, and he's playing well. DeChambeau's playing well. He's played well in his last 2 tournaments overseas, Saudi Arabia, and I think maybe South Africa, I believe, is where obviously Liv, of course, lives over there on that side of the world. But, yeah, those guys have been playing well. So a lot of momentum going into the Masters. As we continue to talk about it, we'll talk about it all week right here on the Morning Rant. It is a tradition unlike any other. The Masters, again, taking part over in Augusta. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Last year, the Liv guys, if you remember, did really well in the Masters.
Oh, yeah.
If you looked at the leaderboard, there was 5 or 6 Liv guys that were in the top 10.
And I think that's the one thing that one of the things I really love about the Masters, not obviously because it's in Georgia and, I'm a big, Georgia and Atlanta sports fan, but the Masters is kind of its own brand. They pretty much, back when the boycotts, this, that, and the other, they said, you know what? We'll televise it ourselves. We don't need to worry about the advertising. They basically kind of stuck it to the network, stuck it, to everybody. And it is its own brand. And it's one of the few events where they do have PGA and Liv guys. Like, they're not real. They're their own thing. They don't rely on the PGA or anybody else. They're kind of their own standalone, and they have the financial backing to do that, more power to them. But that's one of the things I do like about it. They kind of are the bandit, and they're the most prestigious. So
when we have any finish even close to the one we had last year, it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be fun, no doubt about that. Hey, Masters Talk right here on the Morning Rant. Again, a Rally Towel Tuesday edition brought to you by our friends at Geiger Legal. Again, visit us on social media. The Sports Pig is on Facebook. Our show, The Morning Rant, on Instagram. You can also watch full video episodes daily on YouTube. The podcast version of the show on sportspigradio.com, and wherever you listen to your favorite daily podcast, you can find me as well on Twitter at Dave Garner 777. When we come back, we will talk a little bit further the conversation. We'll bring in some Braves talk and some other things as well as we wrap up this Tuesday edition of the program right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia, on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, your official home for Georgia Bulldogs basketball.
My goodness.
Tired of shouting your business's name into the void and getting nothing but crickets? Your brand deserves more than awkward billboard glances and flyers lining bird cages. Right now, listeners are hearing me ramble on instead of your ad. That's a touchdown for missed opportunities and a fumble for your wallet.
Recovered, Atlanta, game over.
Your ad could be here, making fans laugh, cheer, and most importantly, call you. Go to sportspigradio.com or call 678-454-9552 and get your business off the bench and into the game.
Morning Grind with Pork Rind.
Welcome to the show.
It's the Morning Rant. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 on 98.1, 93.7, and 101.1 on the H2 dial. WPGY, the Sports Pig.
Back here in our final segment of this Rally Towel Tuesday edition of the Morning Rant. Dave Garner with you till 11 o'clock. Thank you for being with us right here. My man Billy D sitting in as well as we talk about everything going on in the world of sports, especially the Masters, which is where the center of the sports universe will be focused on this week. Again, coming off the national championship game last night, Michigan winning it over UConn as they win their first national championship since 1989. We talked about that a little bit earlier in the program now as we turn the page and continue to work our way through the seasons. And now here we are talking about the Masters, a lot of big sporting events on coming up on deck. And so we hope you keep it locked right here. We're going to talk more about high school sports as well. We talked about the big parade next Friday over in Murray County, which will continue to play up before then. Your Atlanta Braves, losers of 3 in a row. Chris Sale getting shelled last night. Say that fast 3 times. But again, you knew it was only a matter of time. Chris Sale, again, his first 2 outings were phenomenal. Last night, though, giving up a few runs. Braves lose 6-2. Got to get the bats going again, man. They scored the 17 runs last Thursday out in Arizona. Since then, they've struggled a little bit. So hopefully they can get things turned around here a little bit. Off to a fast start, but then all of a sudden they've really cooled off. So, man, got to get those get those bats working. The one thing you and I did talk about that real quick is you and I have this kind of poking back and forth about the long ball versus the small ball, things like that. But at this point, you take it however you can get it, right? I mean, you got to be able to play both, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they're not losing by 1 run. I mean, they're losing by multiple. I think there was a Saturday night game last week. They lost by 1 run. Yeah. So maybe your small ball would have worked back then. But most of this is big bats coming through in key positions. And I may be in the minority here, but I got to tell you, man, I am not a big Acuna fan.
Well,
I'm just not.
He's off to a slow start now.
I mean, he's hurt most of the time. He's had one maybe 2 really awesome seasons with us, and so we've made him out to this big idol that we put up there for a Braves player. Right. I mean, he's up there at the base, and this is just me, okay? But he's up there. He's at the plate. He looks like a freaking robot. He's got all this crap on him. I mean, he probably can't hit the ball because of all this stuff he's got on him. Right. I mean, I've never seen so much stuff on a player trying to hit a ball.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of elbow pads.
I don't know if it's for show or what it is, but it's obnoxious. Okay, and he's not hitting, so it gets even worse, right?
Right.
So I'm just not buying it.
I think he's been thrown at so much. I think a lot of it is protect. But you're right. No, I mean, there's a lot of show when it comes to Acuna, but normally he backs it up. This year, though, a little slow out of the gate. I tell you who hadn't been slow is Drake Baldwin. I mean, Baldwin,
he's tearing it up,
living up, rookie of the year, still raking. Hit another home run last night, I believe, and so the guy is just continued to kind of be the anchor right now of the Braves lineup, but got to get some other guys going too, so it's been kind of a slow over these last few days.
Well, you're 6-5 and you've got 1 pitcher. Yeah, I mean, you're doing okay. Yeah, you're doing okay. You're not great. No, right. Not great. But and he had a bad night last night, right?
Yeah, I did. Got roughed up a little bit,
and he's our only one we got. Really,
right now, and you'll get
people get healthy,
and you'll get some guys back, and that's why I don't think, and obviously you're not going to hit the panic button this early in the season. You don't have to be great right now, but you do at least want to maintain pace and win some series. I mean, you want to take 2 out of 3, as much as you can. You kind of gave up a couple games over the weekend that were very winnable. You could have easily won 3 out of 4 against the Diamondbacks. You end up splitting that 4-game set after taking the first 2, and now you're basically in Anaheim. Playing the Angels, and so getting the loss there last night, and they'll go at it again tonight. 9:40 start, I believe.
Aren't we one of the only few teams to start off at 13 straight games though?
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
a little something to do.
Yeah,
with
a little extra flair there when you got to go that many, and that's why you're going to see some spot starts and some different things, from some different guys, simply because of that, because you're playing 13 in a row out of the gate there. So definitely a good catch, and we'll see how it goes. But again, hopefully our Atlanta Braves can turn it around. Again, you can hear most all the Braves games right here on your new North Georgia home for the Atlanta Braves. That is WPGY, the Sports Pig. Again, download the app and listen to the games on our live stream at sportspigradio.com. Right now, time for our restaurant inspection.
Time for this week's restaurant inspection.
Oh, it smells so good in here.
on the Morning Rant.
All right, so this is a segment we rolled out last week because, as we mentioned earlier in the show, we talk about sports. We talked about grass and yard mowing today. But again, restaurant inspection scores. We like to tell you who's doing well in the world of local restaurant inspection scores. This is brought to you by your friends at Eat Safe Cherokee. Again, check them out on Facebook. They also have an Eat Safe Cobb, Eat Safe Fayetteville, Eat Safe Douglasville, I believe. They have a couple different areas that they serve there. But again, kudos to Creekview High School, of all places, 100. But there's several different. Cherokee High School, Woodstock Elementary. I think it's funny that the schools all get inspected as well. Macedonia Elementary, Brewster's Ice Cream, Chipotle Mexican Grill in Canton, Dunkin' Donuts, all 100s this week. The lowest score was an 87. So not bad. I mean, because typically you have those scores sometimes where you're, in the 50s or 60s and you're like, I don't want to eat there.
Oh, that's a problem.
But the lowest score on the list so far this week that we've seen is an 87.
Oh, that's good.
Well, that's not bad. No, so everybody's watching their P's and Q's because now that we've started talking about it right here on the show, I think everybody knows they got to step up their game.
Yeah, no, you listen, in the restaurant industry, you do not want a bad score being broadcast.
And we don't talk about the names of the restaurants that do bad. We only talk about because we don't want to. Hey, it could be a potential it could be a potential advertiser. We don't want to get in trouble or make anybody mad. We're not about that. We're about having fun here. But we will tell you the scores. And again, all of those are from Cherokee County right there. The IHOPs of the world, Bridge Mill Golf Course. Speaking of the Masters, all 97s. So again, everybody doing pretty good. Green Line Brewery in 97. I think we talked about them last week. Las Palmas, Papa John's, all in that 93, 94 range. So yeah, hey man, and you talked about it last week. People are always looking for different things when they do those restaurant inspections. It's not always maybe directly related to the food itself. It may be, having a fan or something working or whatever.
It could be any little thing laying around, as long as it's not temperature related, food related type cross contamination type stuff.
Right.
Generally, it's not that big of a deal unless they just are flat out ignoring maintenance.
Right. Exactly.
If you see it happening 2 and 3 times, that could be an issue.
There we go. Our man Billy D spent almost 20 years in the restaurant business, so we like to bring in the restaurant inspections. Where are you eating this weekend, or did you have a good food experience this past weekend? Because you're a foodie like me, man. So.
Yeah, but we've really kept it low key.
You've been keeping it around because you've got quite the setup, man. You've got a back deck that rivals anything I've ever seen. You're a good grill master, and so yeah, man. I mean, sometimes that staying at home food for you is better than what you get out.
I go to the meat market, and we'll get us some meat from there, and we'll cook it up and have a good time.
There we go, man.
Salmon about 3 times a week.
I love it. Again, this week's restaurant inspection presented by your friends at Papa John's Pizza and L.J. Better pizza, better ingredients. Order online at papajohns.com. All right, let's get back to sports real quick in the remaining few minutes we have right here before Chuck Oliver takes over with Southern Sports today. He's the king of college football. He'll be breaking down some spring practice for you. And speaking of, don't know if you've had your eye on any of the spring practice stuff there. Obviously, we're your home for Georgia Tech football, for Tennessee football right here, of course, on Sports Pig. Georgia football, obviously, over on our sister station 101.1 The Pulse. I can tell you that Alabama spring game is this weekend. Georgia Tech spring games are next weekend, Saturday, April the 18th, right there. We're talking about Tennessee. I mean, they've got a pretty good quarterback battle brewing right here as, again, Joey Aguilar, obviously moving on there. So who's going to step up for the Vols? They held their first scrimmage last week, and a lot of strong defensive play in that scrimmage. So you've got a couple different guys there, Faison Brandon, George McIntyre, Ryan Staub, a couple, different guys looking to replace, Aguilar there from Tennessee. So there's a lot of good battles going on in camps right now. We're going to talk about it a little bit more over the next week or so as we kind of break things down a little bit. But yeah, man, I don't know if you've been able to pay any attention to anything. I mean, your thoughts. I know you're a big Georgia guy. What do the Dogs do, man? I mean, what do they got to? What holes they got to fill? Well,
I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to spring practice, but I would say we need to fill in some wide receiver spots for sure. We got a D-line to always get back in there. The only thing I've heard about spring practice is Kirby's yelling too much to the megaphone and cursing out everybody and offending the people walking by. Other than that, which I'm perfectly fine with. Keep it up, Kirby.
Man.
Let's go.
Yeah, keep it up, Kirby. He's always yelling, man. Always. All those videos get leaked, quote unquote, leaked out there of Kirby, having a panic attack on somebody out there. So again, spring football practice alive and well. Hey, our area high schools are going to be in spring practice mode for too long as we get on the other side of spring break. Again, a lot of our local area schools on spring break this week, and so it'll be a lot of fun to kind of see what happens after you get spring break. You start getting towards the end of that school year. Everybody starts getting summer fever, including the teachers. I should know I'm married to one. You're married to a counselor, so you and I can certainly relate there. But again, a lot of things going on in the world of our local schools. Today we've talked a little bit, sprinkled in some Braves talk, talked about last night's Natty, of course, college basketball wrapping up, March Madness officially in the books, and of course a lot of Masters talk today as we get set for the 90th edition of the Masters. Man, number 90 on deck this week over in Augusta, and I'm looking forward to it. Still plenty of NASCAR stuff going on. NASCAR, oh, by the way, Sunday at Bristol, a race you can hear right here on sportspigradio.com. Tyler Reddick currently leading the standings, off to a great start this year. So really just a lot of things going on, and we're going to continue our Brave talk later in the week as well. But, man, looking forward to a great Masters and looking forward to our little Pick'em challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna pick those guys out, see if we can make that happen. Speaking of NASCAR real quick, I did do a couple tracks on my buddy's simulator across the street.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Man, I tell you, I could get into it that way.
I know. There's always, it's fun, man. I mean, it's fun. Talladega's coming up, selfishly,
That's the one I ran
in a couple weeks. You run Talladega because you put your foot on the gas and run wide open pretty
awesome.
much. I mean, I love Talladega, man. You can comfortably run 3 wide, if not 4 wide, but it's a great track. And so, again, looking forward to NASCAR. Zoom, man, as we continue on right here. Hey, we're out of time today, man. We appreciate you guys joining us right here on another Rally Towel Tuesday presented by your friends at Geiger Legal Group. I'm Dave Garner. He's Billy Dowd. We'll see you again tomorrow. Big John Davis will be back in here joining me as we break down the latest on the gridiron and much more. Until tomorrow, as we always say, if you don't know,
you better ask somebody.
We'll see you tomorrow morning right here on the Morning Rant. Thanks for joining us on WPGY, the Sports Pig, home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia.
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, your official home for flag-to-flag coverage of NASCAR.